Hello, everybody. This is Omar Miller, and we're welcoming you to the OZone. You can find me on Twitter at Omar Miller, on Instagram at Omar Benson Miller. You can find my co-host, Terry, at Icons, EYECONZ. We're going to jump right into it here. You know, I don't even like to speak on this, but have you seen what's been going on with Adrian Broner?
I've never been a crazy Adrian Broner fan.
Nor have I.
You know,
but this situation is even more absurd than the normal
Broner
buffoonery from Adrian
Bronerism.
Broner. Yeah, the normal Broner brain deadism. Adrian Broner has a big fight coming up against a Floyd Mayweather promoted fighter, Ashley Theophane, British bloke. And last week, sometime recently, Adrian Broner decided to go out bowling and started gambling at a bowling alley. In gambling at the bowling alley, he lost about $8,000 in cash and then $6,000 on an IOU. And then he asked the guy to run it back again for another $6,000. And the dude said, "Hey, man, I'm all out of credit. It's all good. We catch you on the next one." Broner storms off. He's steaming. The guy comes out at 3 a.m, which is 2 or 3 hours after Broner leaves. The guy comes out. Broner throws a punch and splits the guy's chin open, splits the guy's face open, knocks him to the ground. Pulls out a gun. These are all the allegations. You know, you're innocent until proven guilty here in the United States. These are the allegations against Adrian Broner. Pulls out a gun and then continues to talk crazy to the dude there. And continues to sit there and threaten the guy and talk crazy. Throws another punch and knocks the guy out cold. The guy wakes up. He's $12,000 light. And there was an arrest warrant issued for Adrian Broner, so on and so forth. Couple things to cover here. One, the fight's still going on,
right?
Which is what? Wow.
Of course. And where do you think he learns his behavior from? Where do you think he got it from?
I just think I don't know. I think he's a loser. Personally, I think he's a loser. I actually think he's a loser in the ring because when he's actually up against competition that's on par with him, he folds. He's mentally weak.
Yeah.
The fact that he's going to make a couple $1 million on this fight and he's beaten some guy and now he's got felony arrest warrants. He's going to be in prison. Felony arrest warrants, or he's going to pay this dude a boatload of money, either or. You have all of this going on over $12,000?
Right.
$20,000? And you're making millions of dollars and you're talking this nonsense? You're AB, about billions. Then
Sore loser. And then he came out talking crazy about his sometime friend, sometime foe, Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, he said, let me quote, he says that me and Floyd are as tight as two ass cheeks.
Wow. That's an image that I'm not really interested in thinking about.
Or smelling.
Oh. Fantastic. You know what? We have a caller here that can speak on this. Is this next victim on the line right now?
Well, hello there.
And we're talking about the problem and multiple problems, meaning Adrian Broner and his buffoonish behavior, knocking people out and robbing them and talking crazy about Floyd Mayweather and Floyd Mayweather talking crazy back at him. What's your take on this situation with Adrian Broner?
Well, let me first ask, is this call being recorded?
This call is being recorded, and you need to know that because unlike D'Angelo Russell, I tell my boys when the recording is going down, next victim, because I don't want you to be the next victim.
Well, I appreciate you letting me know that this call is being recorded, my friend.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, that's an ugly look. We don't even want to speak on that nonsense anymore. We dedicated a cool little bit of time to it. But have you seen this? Have you heard this story about Adrian Broner?
No, he carried himself like a idiot, and things like that happen. It's unfortunate, that he's doing things like that or carrying himself that way. But then at the same time, hey man, arrest this dude. Like he shouldn't be fighting. Plain and simple.
He shouldn't be fighting. This guy's a menace to society.
Yes, but he's always carried himself that way.
And you have to give him credit because after one of his fights, he said anyone can get it. A Mexican, a black can, and everything else. A Jamaican. He's a real clown prince, this guy.
It's different when it comes to, like, talking trash and then just being ignorant. And you know, a lot of my partners always said that this dude carried himself as ignorant and just no class.
No
and
class. This guy is school on Sunday. And then on top of that, he failed to make weight. So now his title is stripped straight away, and he only failed to make weight by a quarter of a pound, and he refused to go burn the quarter of a pound off and come back to the scale. I think he's got a mental problem, this guy.
That's what or he's on some stuff.
Maybe he is on that stuff.
Maybe he's on some stuff, because if you're getting ready for a big fight, why are you at a bowling alley? What are you doing at a bowling alley? What's the purpose? You should be training. You should be getting mentally prepared. I have not heard anyone say they're getting mentally prepared for going bowling before a fight.
Come on, man. And then on top of that, you're bowling and you're bowling and betting with strangers. This isn't like his man.
Right. So I really think he's on some stuff now. He got to be. He really has to be on some stuff where it's just messing up his, as we used to say, his membranes, his chromosomes.
I honestly think that Floyd's just a bad influence on him. It's rubbing off on him.
You think from prior behavior when they actually were friends?
Yeah, because he's seen Floyd do outrageous and outlandish stuff, you know, and now he's just following the pattern that's been set for him.
He's trying to emulate that pattern.
Which is not acceptable.
Which is not acceptable from anyone.
I can't put it all on Floyd, though. You know, Floyd was constantly around boxing, and he's seen the demise and also the uprise from it from his dad and from his uncle. So you can't put that on Floyd. Floyd was able to perform no matter what, which is rare for some folks. This dude was just trying to, be a Floyd, but come on, man. You got to be like Cuddy. Don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Yeah, it's a bad look.
Yeah, but he patterns his life and his game after Floyd. Floyd was his mentor. So now everything that he saw Floyd do in the past, now he's trying to do it. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
That's on camera, though. That's when he's in a hype mode.
Yeah, but I don't think the wife beating allegations and whatnot happened on camera, unless you had a D'Angelo Russell around.
He has about 9 kids though. Oh,
well, so what that mean? He's got to beat down 9 broads.
Oh,
yeah, and Floyd took the guy to the desert. Remember?
Yeah.
Well, that's on the line. I mean, that's not like something I'm making up.
I'm not saying something you're making up. All of them are allegations because there's nothing.
Floyd paid the guy.
Everybody all the charges got dropped. This is what I'm saying. So this is one of those situations where we don't have the confirmation.
Right.
But nobody's going to ever say that Floyd Mayweather's off ring behavior is something that you want to model your own personal life after. And it looks like Adrian Broner has fallen into those traps. And in falling into those traps, he's in a position now to do some serious prison time. I mean, if you are a young millionaire, you don't have one breath of time to waste in prison. There's nothing that should actually, make that worth being there. It's just such an absurd idea that the guy is going to make a couple $1 million on this fight, whatever it is he's going to make, but he's going to lose time in his life behind $20,000 worth of gambling.
And years of boxing.
Which then in turn means even more money. Yeah.
Yeah, but they feel like money pays off everything. That's the team money theory, right?
He's not on the money team, T.
Isn't he a part of the promotion?
No. He's on his own. Ashley Theophane is Mayweather's fighter. It's not.
Oh, okay. I thought Broner is under his.
No, he's not. And that's why Floyd has come out before this when they've been going back and forth. That's why Floyd came out and was saying he's not one of the money team fighters, so I can't speak on what he has to do. Now tell me, how'd you feel about SOG's performance? How'd you feel about Andre Ward's performance the other night against Sullivan Barrera?
SOG is amazing. He is amazing. I looked at him. He got a little, rough around the edges, but then he composed himself and he brought it back and he just jabbed. He threw some excellent body punches. I'm surprised the kid didn't go down, but it shows a lot about the kid. But with SOG not fighting in a couple of years, he looked a little rusty, but he still looks like a prime candidate to be the man, to be the pound for pound.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He looks like he's definitely top 4 pound for pound. I liked his work. I thought he looked a little rusty, but he did. You know, it was weird because he looked rusty and sharp. It was weird to see. I definitely felt like he needs one more tune-up, and soon, like maybe like August or something like that, before he hops in against the top tier, against like a Kovalev or somebody on the high level. What's your take on the Amir Khan Canelo Alvarez fight coming up?
Canelo's gonna hurt that guy.
You think?
Canelo, he's gonna hurt Amir Khan.
I don't know. Speed gives him a problem.
No. What Canelo did last fight really impressed me. He's heavy-handed. I've always said that about about Canelo. And when he lost the fight against Mayweather, it made him have to learn how to box completely and not just try to go in there and knock somebody out.
I think the issue is a couple things. I think the speed could be a factor. Amir Khan has shown me in the past that he can have the glass jaw on any given night, which is a problem when you're facing a heavy-handed fighter.
Right.
Because if he does catch you, if Canelo catches Amir Khan with some of those shots that he hit Cotto with, I think you're looking at a short night. But if Amir Khan uses his speed, he could actually pile up points against Canelo, because I didn't see Canelo with the ability to cut off the ring I think that he should have against Cotto. I actually had Cotto winning that fight.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
have Amir Khan really outboxed anyone?
Well, Amir Khan's, I think he was on the wrong path. His career kind of got derailed by a series of mismanagement, in my opinion, because he was up for the big fights against Manny. He was up for the big fights against Floyd. And he never ended up taking any of them because of either Ramadan or the timing didn't work out with another promotion and so on and so forth. I don't even know how many times Amir Khan's fought in the past 2 years, to be honest.
Right, and that usually tells you about a fighter, that people don't want to fight him.
Now tell me this: is Amir Khan his trainer?
I don't know who's training Amir Khan now. That's a good question. Let's find that out.
Freddie Roach used to train him, right?
Yeah, Freddie Roach used to train him, and that was the hesitance for him to fight. That was the hesitance for him to fight Manny Pacquiao originally. And speaking of trainers, how do you feel about Teddy Atlas picking up Timothy Bradley? And what do you think? What do you think's going to happen? I think this fight with Bradley and Pacquiao is going to be closer than any of the other ones were, to be honest. Because I felt like Pacquiao won both of those fights pretty handily.
I think with Timothy Bradley, he's learning how to box. Timothy Bradley used to try to get into the ring and just try to use all of his heart to try to win.
Right.
But now with someone like Teddy Atlas, who has longevity in the game, it helps him out to become a pure boxer now. Because where he can steal rounds if he needs to. I like Teddy Atlas and Judge Storm. I like them two together.
I like the combo, but it's hard for me to bet against Manny Pacquiao and Freddie Roach together with a healthy Manny Pacquiao, assuming that that's what's going on. I got one more thing to play you, and I don't know if you've been keeping it up, but someone that I feel like, honest to God, may be the best follow on, who literally may be the best follow on all of Instagram, is Shannon Briggs. Shannon the Cannon. And he has a moniker that he says all the time. I ran into Shannon Briggs at an Indian reservation. I was playing poker, and he ran up on me and he said, "Let's go, champ! It's you, champ! I'm good to see you, champ!" I got so hyped up. I was like, wow, I'm the champ. This is great. So now let me play you a clip. Next victim, hold on a second. You got about a minute and a half to listen to this wonderful clip of Shannon Briggs flew to London to bash, like out of a movie, to bash David Hayes' announcement for fighting a no-name guy. Hold on, here we go. You ready? Here you go.
Don't touch, y'all. Don't touch. Do me a favor. Don't touch. Let's go, champ. David, I got you on camera. Do me a favor, champ. Tell the people back at home why you fighting him, who we never heard of, instead of me. I came to your country for a fight. Let's go, champ. Come on, man. Listen. Come on, man. Where you got him from? Let's go. Where you got him from? Fight him in the car. Get her in the Sainsbury, where you got him from?
If you knock somebody out,
Whole Foods.
then we'll talk.
Okay, Chad.
We'll lock a date.
You guarantee me that you'll fight. If I fight in the undercard, if you guarantee me you'll fight me next.
Can you even guarantee you're gonna pass a brain scan? No.
If I pass the brain,
I watched that.
He a chump. He don't want to fight. London, y'all better get y'all money back. He don't want to fight. Chump, get a refund right now. He don't want to fight nobody. If he want to fight me, we can fight May 21st, and I'll fight on the undercard if you guarantee to fight me next. If you sign a contract saying after you beat this pie, you'll fight me next, I guarantee I'll fight on the card.
We'll talk about it.
Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ.
One more.
Let's go, champ.
One more for me.
Let's go, champ.
Show's on. 21st
Hey,
of
London,
May.
get your money back.
21st of May.
I'm down for May 21st, y'all. Ask him why he ain't fighting me.
See you there.
Ask him why he ain't fighting the real champ. Let's go, champ. London is mine.
21st.
Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, they all frauds. I came here to prove it. An American came to London looking for static, and ain't nobody say nothing. And he a chump. Let's go, champ. Have a good day.
That's your man, Shannon the Cannon Briggs. And that's how he feels about the heavyweight division right now. I love the camaraderie, the bravado of this. This is great. Shannon Briggs is past his prime, but you know what? The guy is in shape. In his own words, he's cut up like a Jamaican outfit, and he's ready to go. David Haye has reestablished himself on the heavyweight scene. It could be a situation where he's living off of past laurels, and you got a room full of people in the heavyweight division who now, the heavyweight division is valid now. You got young studs like
absolutely.
Yeah, and he's trying to get his, and I'm not mad at him, but he's got to show that he can do it. What do you feel about the heavyweights in general?
I feel like the heavyweight division is slowly coming back. There's no longer a handful. There's two handfuls of heavyweights. The Klitschko's are on their way down, or on their way out of the heavyweight division. So now the ones that are up and coming are hungry and able to beat them up.
Yeah,
because it seems like the Klitschko's are dancing out.
Well, there's only one Klitschko left. I mean, Vitaly, who in my opinion was the better fighter of the brothers, he's into politics now, and his brother Vladimir lost to Tyson Fury, who's been running his mouth since the moment that he won the fight. Since before he won the fight, actually, and he's been running his mouth. He can do that because he beat the baddest man on the planet.
It's back on now, right?
And it's back on. They're talking about, what they saying, August, November for that?
Yeah.
I heard they pushed it back.
There's nothing solid.
Yeah, there's nothing solid there, which has to drive you crazy if you're Tyson Fury. You would think he would want to fight. I mean, I guess it's not going to drive you crazy because you know you're going to get a big payday there. But you would think you would want to fight. There's so many young guys out there that are ready to go. You got the brother that shares that King Kong moniker out from Cuba, Ortiz, who's a heavy hitter from the left side. But I didn't like the way that he looked in that
he didn't
fight.
Look good last time.
And with a bum, that bum lasted way too long with him. You got Povetkin, who I think is about to get some work from Deontay Wilder, who says he wants to be the Black Rocky. The Bronze Bomber is heading out there to Russia to fight him. I like Deontay a lot, and I think every fight he gets better and better. He just has to work on his defense a little bit, in my opinion, but he may be the best athlete in heavyweight boxing in general. You got the British kid, Anthony Joshua, who's in great shape, but he doesn't have a lot of fights.
Got to fight.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got enough fights, but he's legit. We basically what we're saying is we have a heavyweight division full of guys that are legit. I'm just really happy because I like to see the big guys fight. I like to see it much more than UFC, and I like to see it much more than the little guys who got to punch you 20,000 times and swell up everybody's eyeball and all that junk. I like to see guys get put to sleep, and that's what the big boys can accomplish.
Now tell me this, when was the last fight that we've ever seen where there was a heavyweight and a light middleweight or whatever on the same night in the same ring?
I don't know, but I think we're going to start seeing it now because I think you're going to start seeing great fights. You're going to see guys like SOG. You're going to see Andre Ward on a card with a Deontay Wilder. I mean, so that the whole card is nice and it's not just, you're not just paying your $75 a pay-per-view for one fight. And I think this is why UFC has actually been able to put a hurting on boxing. is because one thing that they've been able to do is all fights are action packed. You don't just have one title fight. Like the one headlining fight is a big deal, but you're not going to be mad at the other fights either.
The undercards are major also.
The undercards are major. And somebody's going to get knocked out or choked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you see they rescheduled that fight with your boy Keith One-Time Thurman and Sean Porter. I'm very excited for that fight. And that fight actually has a great undercard as well because it got Jesus Cuellar and Abner Mares on that for the Cuellar's WBA featherweight title.
Is that in June?
June 25th. That's going to be a good fight.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's going to be a good fight, man. The One Time, we're both big fans of One Time, but Sean Porter's real. Only time I seen Sean Porter get dominated was by Kell Brook that night when we watched him over at the Home Depot Center in Carson. StubHub Center, is it now? StubHub Center.
He fought the best fight that he could against someone like Sean Porter that night.
Sure did.
He gave combos and he grabbed, he hugged, he laid on him. So Porter could not extend them arms.
Yep. And Kell Brook actually is another dude in that welterweight division. Truth be told, I think the most exciting divisions are the welterweight division and the heavyweight division, which is nice. It's nice to get a big guy back. Last thing we want to cover with your next victim, we were just talking football. What do you think about RG3 over there in going to Cleveland? Do you think he's just a stopgap solution there? Do you think that he actually may be able to make some noise?
He will not be able to make no noise. I really wish that RG3 would have went to somewhere like Dallas. I'm not a Dallas fan, but just for the young kid to fall behind Romo and, he could learn he'll be back in his hometown, and it wouldn't be a lot to expect from him because it's Romo's team. Now he has to go to Cleveland, to the dog pound, and become the starter. And, they've been losing forever. They always have high expectations going into the season, but it's going to be it's almost like a step of failure again for RG3. Like, because he's going to go over there thinking that he can change the culture, he can change the franchise just like he did in Washington. And, hey, he's an Heisman Trophy winner. The kid knows how to win. So he's going to put all this pressure on himself to try to win. But, hey, this is the NFL. Them beasts are still going to come after him, and he's in Cleveland. Cleveland has two decent running backs. They have a decent receiver. I forget, they have the other receiver that was on suspension all the last
season. Yeah, that kid is real. And is he going to play again?
Yeah, he's coming back this year.
He's coming back this year.
Yeah, he's a stud.
That kid's a stud. He's got mental problems. He can't let the weed go, right?
I think everybody in the league has a problem.
CTE.
It's still a year off. It's still a whole year off, though. So if he can come back and be real like he was in 2013, 2014, praise the Lord, hallelujah. But I do not like RG3 going to Cleveland.
Yeah, I felt like he should have went to the Rams.
He just got rid of Matt Sales. So they're expecting RG3 to come over there and just say Cleveland.
I think it would have been nice if he came to the Rams. If he would have come to the Rams, because the Rams got defense. He comes here in L.A.
Gurley.
You got crazy running back in Todd Gurley.
Yeah,
that would have been a nice fit.
Yeah, one of the best running backs in the league.
That's why I was kind of hoping that he would go to Dallas. Dallas has two running backs now.
Well, Dallas is still working. Dallas is still working on the good old boy network. Let's just be real about it. Tony Romo he can't. That guy has got more than 9 lives. He's more than Felix the Cat. This guy gets every chance in the world. It doesn't matter how bad he messes up or how often he messes up or how little he plays. He's always the starting quarterback. I think he's going to be the starting quarterback when he's in his casket.
Right.
For Jerry Jones' Cowboys.
How many playoff games has he won? One.
And that's not a problem. That's not a problem. But as a fan of the game and want everyone to succeed, I would like RG3 to go to Dallas because Romo's going to get hurt during the season. He's going to try to start every game. So when Romo gets hurt and a guy like RG3 comes in, it's like, okay, we still don't expect to win, but this guy is going to be here, till Romo comes back. Going right into Cleveland, they're going to expect that kid to win and do everything that he was doing at Baylor, and it's not fair for him. Now, if he was to go to a team like, say, Pittsburgh, where the organization is great, I think that he would succeed. But going to Cleveland, No way. Think it's a
They still got a guy named Roethlisberger out there in Pittsburgh.
They
last time I
said that's
checked.
not even out of his prime yet.
Yeah, hey, you know what? Too. Yeah, that's an interesting. You got a lot of love for RG3. I don't know
Right.
about that. I don't know if I'm on the same bandwagon with
Me
you.
either. I
on
don't
that
think he
one.
cares about the game enough.
I don't think he cares about the game enough either. I think he's
Cares about that
a little
paycheck.
more self-centered and talking about
Yeah.
fair. What's not fair is that he made $15 million to not play a snap last year.
Yeah.
I would like that
Was
job.
but was that on him, though, or was that on the organization and the coaching?
Well,
It's
I
on
mean,
him.
listen, it's if somebody wanted to give me $15 million to not do a podcast, I think it's on them. But at the same time, I wouldn't say no.
We can't sit Kirk Cousins down.
Can't sit Kirk Cousins. You like that? you
Well,
like that?
They had the kid playing injured, though. They had RG3 playing injured.
No. That was Mike Shanahan who dropped the
Right.
ball on that. And truthfully, that might have cost RG3 his whole career in hindsight. Like he may never come back.
And everybody plays injured.
And then that's a good point too.
Yeah, they just said J.J. Watt played with 5 core
That is crazy.
tears. That's ridiculous. And a broken hand this year.
The injuries, though, come on, for a quarterback that's looking to run, like, come on.
Got to look to pass.
He didn't have to suit up. He was owed that money, so I ain't mad at him.
Let me tell you, give me one last thing that I want to cover, one last topic. Who do you got coming out of this Final Four? Give me your analysis of each team. I know that I was about to say, I know how you feel about the Orangemen. That's why I asked. How do you feel? Tell me in general. Give me the pros and cons of your squad and the squads that are playing on the other side.
Okay, with Syracuse. They have something to play for. They was bad. They wasn't in the tournament last season. Their coach was suspended this year. They were counted out. Usually the Syracuse zone is, in years before, was a lot slower and did not extend, too far. This new Syracuse zone, or the same zone, but these kids are more active on the wings. They have the bigs that can go up and grab the boards. They can match up with anybody, and they have not fallen yet. They're there. They're proven, and they shouldn't be in the Final Four. They were counted out when Coach Boeheim was, suspended for 10 or 15 games. And to come back and have the Final Four run, these kids are the truth. They are ready.
You think you think this is their year? You think they're going to pull it off? I mean, they've been Cinderella-esque. They're number 10 seed, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they've been Cinderella-esque, and I'm impressed. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of these teams. For one, they're up against it coming up on Saturday night, and to get out of that is going to take everything they got. Now you're thinking that it's the zone that's going to put them in the spot that they can take UNC. Yeah. North Carolina's been looking pretty invincible all year, man.
North Carolina has the bigs. Syracuse has the bigs. Now, if the kid, I forget the kid's name, the shooter for North Carolina, if he can continue to shoot the way he has been doing for the past 2 weeks in the tournament, okay. But I'm not real impressed with the North Carolina bigs as far as shooting. So that's why I think with this zone, Syracuse has the upper edge.
So you're looking for an upset. You're looking for upset city on Saturday. And then in the second game, in the first game, we got the Villanova Wildcats versus the Oklahoma Sooners. Who do you got there? You UV? Who you?
I have to roll with Oklahoma. Not a big fan of Oklahoma, but I've been watching this kid. He played a game against Texas early in the season, and I watched that game, and I said, this dude is for real. He stayed 4 years in college, so he's accustomed to this. He can make the shot. He makes the big shots all the time. He's not afraid of the big moment. Oklahoma can be down 15 to 20 points. They don't rattle. They're ready. They've been in that situation. They've been in the Big 12 conference. They played Kansas twice. They played Texas twice. They played Oklahoma twice. Oklahoma State. They played all these top schools. Buddy Hield is the truth. I'm riding with Buddy Hield.
I mean, everybody seems to be pretty impressed with him right now.
Yeah, do you think he's the best player in college?
The best player in college? No.
You think Simmons is the best player in college?
No.
Who you got as the best player in college?
Valentine?
Denzel Valentine is the best player in college because he went from point guard. He played pretty much every position except center.
Wow, you're going with Billy Ray Valentine. Nice. Feeling good, Billy Ray. Okay. So in your world, the Final Four plays out like this. Villanova and Oklahoma in the tie. When Buddy Hield comes through, he wins the game. Syracuse beats the Tar Heels in a shocker. And then Syracuse goes on to take it to Buddy Hield to cut down the nets. Who wins the championship?
I got to roll with Syracuse.
Syracuse.
Have to roll with them orange men.
Next victim.
Have to roll with them orange men.
Next victim. It's always a pleasure having you on, brother.
I have to let you guys know I'm changing my name.
Oh, what? You no longer next victim? What are we going with?
I'm going with Do It for the Tipper.
As long as you don't go with D'Angelo Russell, I'm still with you, and you'll be a friend of the Ozone.
I'll never go with that route.
Oh, don't I know it. All right, Tipper, great to have you in, and we will catch you soon.
All right, fellas, you guys have a great one.
All right, peace. I want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors of keeping us healthy and keep your blood pressure together. It's a great drink, chlorophyll-based drink called Gorilla Life. It's simple, chlorophyll plus water plus sweetener. Drink Gorilla Life. It's a jungle out there. Go to gorillalife.com and figure out how to make your life better. Ladies and gentlemen, we got another friend of the Ozone to introduce to you all. He is a basketball aficionado and a damn good point guard in his own right. Smooth and silky, and he goes by the name of DC Sly. Sly, how you feeling out there today?
All good.
Nice. Well, we wanted to cover a couple topics with you since we got you on the line. What we wanted to talk about with you, DC Slides, we wanted to get your take on what you think is going to happen on how this Final Four is going to play out, and then how the championship is going to play out. Who do you got? You got Villanova? Let's start with the early game. You got Villanova, you got the OK Sooners. You a Buddy Hield, or are you a Villanova East Coaster?
I got to go with Nova on this one.
I like that.
I like Jimmy Buckets, but I think Noah's going to put the pressure on, and I think I just think they got it. I mean, if Oklahoma can be tough, man, they might have a chance, but I'm going Nova.
Okay, gonna go Nova. And in the second game, how do you feel about Syracuse versus the number one UNC Tar Heels? I actually felt like the Tar Heels had a great chance to win it from the outset, and I thought Kentucky was going to be their big challenge, but we saw how that went. So what do you think about UNC versus Syracuse, the Cinderella of this dance, if you will?
Yeah, I think UNC is going to go ahead and take that one. Syracuse with the point guard, the 6'5" point guard they got, he's pretty good, but I just think that the rebound is going to be the key in that one. I think UNC is going to out-rebound them. It's going to get a lot of offensive rebounds, and it could be a blowout.
Wow.
I don't know.
I mean, UNC likes to blow people out. They don't mess around. I mean, Dino gets them down there. He gets them hyped up.
Yep. I could be wrong, but I think they'll win that one.
That's what your gut is saying.
Syracuse kind of had. I don't say they had an easy road, but it wasn't as tough as some of the other teams' roads.
Interesting. And now, what do you think? How that plays out then? If it plays out the way you think, UNC versus Nova, what happens on Monday night? What happens in the big game, in the championship game?
I'm going UNC. I just think they're too good. I think they got a great team. They got the height. They got the guard play. I think they got it all.
They're a pretty complete team. They're a pretty solid, complete team, and they're well coached. When you watch it, it's kind of undeniable.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. They seem like a powerhouse, and they're playing great too.
Yeah, they got hot at the right. Well, not hot, but they've been hot all season. But they're gelling at the right time for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I got another question for you. And we were just having a conversation with another friend, and we know that you like Roy Williams down there and what UNC is doing. But we're talking about individual players. When it comes to individual players in college, who do you think is the best college player?
That's tough. I mean, it's hard to argue against Jimmy Buckets at Oklahoma, almost putting up 30 a game in the tournament. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So you're taking him over Simmons. You're taking him over. You're taking him over Valentine. Is it a what have you done for me lately? Is he hot at the right time, or do you feel like it's an actual is this something that he can sustain?
That's a good question, but I mean, it's sports, so it's all about
clutch performance. And on the big stage, when everybody's watching, this man is putting up 30 points a game in college. That's pretty amazing to me.
That is pretty amazing because 30 in college in a team game with a shorter game is very difficult to argue with.
Right.
But do you think the team might be leaning too much on him now, which is what you think makes them vulnerable for Nova to get him?
Exactly. I think Nova, with that pressure, I think they might be able to. They might be the team that take him out of his zone. And even if it's just a little bit, even if they take him out just a little bit, even if he only scores like 20, I think they got him.
That's interesting. So I want to take that same mentality and I want to go onto the Golden State Warriors and see how you feel about the hottest start in NBA history and see what you think about these Warriors. And is there anybody that's going to challenge them in the West on this run? I always felt like they had the easy road last year to get to the finals. I felt like everything fell into place for them to beat everybody that they needed to. Either somebody got hurt or like the Clippers situation, the Clippers fell apart. There was always something that seemed to aid the Golden State Warriors to get there. Now, to shut people like me up, they came out and they won their first 68 games, which is pretty 68 of their first 75 games, rather, which is pretty impressive.
Right.
Now, what do you think about the Warriors? How do you think it plays out with them? Do the San Antonio Spurs give them a problem? Or do you think the Spurs struggle against somebody else early?
The Spurs will always give me problems, especially when it comes to playoff ball. I mean, that program is just amazing. You got Pop down there doing this thing, and they know how to breathe in the ring. They've been there before, and so they're always going to be a problem. But Golden State, man, it just seems like they're just too much. Like they get out there and go, and they got something magical going. Like I said before, I don't know. Like you said, everything kind of falls in place for them. This team might have an injury, that team might have an injury, something might happen. It just seems like they're just geared towards winning, and that's what's going to happen. They got it. They got hit.
They have the it factor. And it's pretty amazing to me because I watched the game. I mean, Utah had them at home. And just like the game, there was a game last year that they almost lost to the New Orleans Pelicans in the playoffs. And Steph Curry hit the big three in the corner, which really only happened because of lazy defense, boxing out, and non-rebounding, which is exactly what happened this last game against the Jazz, where they had the team together. They were up, I want to say maybe 4 or 5 going into the last minute, and the Warriors weren't even hot per se, and they had them down. The score was in the 80s. The Warriors are in trouble when you can keep the score down. So the score was down into the 80s. They had them under control. Klay Thompson puts up a 3. It misses. For some reason, nobody decided to box out. My man Sean Livingston gets the rebound, dishes it back to Klay Thompson, who's Splash Brothers, water. Let's go to overtime. And then you look at the final score. In 10 years from now, when people look at that season, that game won't even look like it was close. That game's going to be a blowout because they end up winning by like 10 points.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be so on top of your game to beat them that it's hard to keep that up for a whole game. In any given moment, you start slipping for a few minutes. Next thing you know, 3 times down the court, they got 9 points.
And that's why they're the champs.
That is why they're the champs.
They score so easily.
Yeah.
And you know what else they do? They're poised.
Right.
It's just like you were talking about breathing in the ring. I never see Golden State panic.
They take advantage of all the mistakes.
Yeah. I don't see Steve Kerr panic. I didn't see Luke Walton panic, and I saw Luke Walton panic a lot when he played for the Lakers. I don't see him panicking on the bench when he's up there coaching.
In Northern Cali, who knows what's going on the bench.
I got some of that Colorado in him. Who knows? Yeah, man. Well, how do you see things playing out in the East in the NBA playoff picture? I actually think Miami is surging, and realistically, nobody wants to see the Raptors. Nobody talks about it. I don't think anybody really wants to see the Raptors or that surging Hornets team. I don't think the Hornets are guys that are going to really, take you out, but I think they can stretch you so that in the next round you have a problem, as well as the Celtics.
Yes. The Celtics are, Isaiah Thomas on the Celtics has been doing this thing. He came over from the West. I knew he was going to be pretty good in the East. But, this Cleveland's always there. My favorite, the Pacers, they're not doing everything I thought they would do this year.
And why do you think that is?
I don't know. They don't have it this year.
I sense some frustration, Sly. I'm sorry.
Right. But I think Paul George is getting a little tired, though, because, this is his first full season back.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. And then, they got some young guys on the team I think are the future.
Yeah, they sure do.
Yeah. So do you think it's a lock? You think Cleveland comes out of the East no problem? Because that seems to be the general sentiment. But I'm telling you, man, if the Heat it can run their game between Dwayne Wade and Hassan Whiteside, you got problems on your hand.
Right.
Yeah. No, I always thought that Miami had a good team. Even last year I thought they had a good team. They're going to be a problem.
Yeah, but then they lost to the Lakers.
Then you lose to the Lakers, and
it's hard to take you serious.
You lose to the Lakers in the middle of a turmoil too.
Right, and it's not acceptable. You got to squash a team like the Lakers,
especially when you're playing on video. Oh! Yeah, man. I think that the NBA playoffs may play out to be a little bit more interesting than they have been. I really wish they would go back to the 5-game format in the first round.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more of a March Madness element to the NBA Finals if they were to do that. The underdog team actually has a chance in 5 games.
Right. Yeah, you catch that top seed slipping, and you might have a chance. In 7 games, it kind of takes it away.
7 games, the better team is going to win. You can count on that. DC Sly,
all right,
love
bro.
having you. Talk to you soon. Peace out. Had some good callers, some very spirited callers, and I think it's about time to wrap up on the Ozone's this edition of the Ozone. You have anything else to offer over here, T-Bone and Ronnie?
Oh, that's it. That's action-packed.
I don't know if the audience is ready for this much ozone.
They can't digest it.
It's too much. They don't have the enzymes. They need to take a probiotic.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
It's like Thanksgiving. You got to loosen your belt, dude.
You got to loosen up the belt and burp. All right, guys. Well, we want to thank you for joining us on the Ozone. My name is Omar, and you can catch me at Omar Miller on Twitter and at Omar Vincent Miller on Instagram. You can catch Terry Miller, my brother, at Icons, EYECONZ on both. I want to end it with a nice quote today from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It is that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. You remember that. You guys have a great day wherever you're going, wherever you are. Ozone out.